What's up, Internet? Attack Slug here, and today I'm going to walk you through the process of putting together an episode of Perplexing Pixels. It is currently 7:16 in the morning, and we're going to get started here, and I'm going to show you how this whole process works. So first things first is we got to get our footage of our picture-in-picture off of my Galaxy S3, which I just use now as a recording device, and we got to get our game footage off of the laptop. So to do that, we've already plugged this in here, and then we're gonna grab it from the device. It is on my phone. It is under DCIM and camera, or one video file, which should be the way at the bottom. There it is, MP4. So this is our picture-in-picture video. Go to our copy here. Alright, we're going to make a new folder. And this is going to be Perplexing Pixels Wolfenstein. I'm going to paste that. So usually one of the first things that I do here is I make a folder called Edit, where I keep a lot of the finished stuff. I'll keep the raw video files in the root of the folder, and I'll do the edit stuff in its own folder. So I just keep it separate. But the first thing we do here, before we even get the other footage, is that we're going to open it with Windows Movie Maker, and this is literally good for one thing, and that is getting the proper frame rate that I want when I do my editing. So we're not going to touch anything else. We're just going to use a preset setting here that I made called picture-in-picture, which is 640 by 480, and my frame rate is going to be 29.97, and we're going to name it picture-in-picture, and we're going to save that. And that'll take a good, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes to do that. So I'm going to get the intro and the outro videos off of the phone that I'm currently holding, and then I'll be right back. So I copied the intro and outro into the folder. This thing is still doing its thing. So then we're going to go over to the laptop here, and we've already plugged my phone in, so we're going to navigate on the phone here to a folder that I made called Files, Videos, and as you can see, I have a bunch of the stuff that I've done in the past, I don't know, like a couple of months, that I've kept in here for one reason or another, just in case. I will always have the raw footage, just in case I need it. I should at some point get it cleared out, whatever. We're going to copy. So the one thing that's important before you copy this stuff is look at the properties and make sure that the frame rate is 29 frames a second. Because if it's not, then you have to go in and do a re-encode through the software to make sure that it meets that requirement, because sometimes the software has issues. Not often, but once in a while. So we're going to copy and paste this over. Importantly, we want to just copy it. We don't want to convert it, because I'm obviously not going to be watching it on the phone. Meanwhile, over here, we have finished with this. So we can close this. We don't want to save this changes to my movie, and then we can go about opening the intro and the outro in Movie Maker and doing the same thing. Want to make sure that now that we're not doing picture-in-picture, our project is widescreen because it's the intro and the outro. No emphasis. We're going to save that as intro-outro, as you might expect. So the laptop is shut down. We got what we needed from that. And now we're copying the raw footage of the game stuff into our folder, and as soon as that is done, then the initial editing process can start to begin. Alright, so I have all the files that I'm going to need. So now we are going to open up Adobe Premiere, and we're going to open up a new project. So all of my settings here are things that I have figured out in the process of figuring out how to make these episodes like a year ago. The frame rate and the frame size and aspect ratio and that kind of stuff. So I keep all of my settings pretty much the same every episode, and then we're going to open up our process here, and the first thing we're gonna want to do is import our footage. So we're only importing now. We're only actually importing what I'm gonna call the synced footage. So what we need is the raw footage of Wolfenstein, the picture-in-picture footage. So we're gonna take our raw footage. We're gonna drag it into video 1. And as you can see, there it is, Wolfenstein. And then we're going to take our picture-in-picture footage and drag that into video 2. Importantly, we're going to drop down the audio so we can figure out what our audio sync situation is going to be like. And then it's going to make that a nice big thing there. So the first thing we do here is resize that. Not to where it's supposed to be yet, just to get it out of the way. So the important thing in this process is going to be the audio sync, and it is a tremendous pain in the ass every week. Normally we make sure that there's a game we'll have some kind of audio that I can sync, and the actual process is just kind of tedious, so I'm not going to show it. But basically I zoom in all the way here, and then I put on a pair of headphones, and I just keep playing through this over and over again, moving it over a click at a time until both of these audios are synced up. So we got our audio sync. That is all synced up to where it should be with the game and the thing. You want to drag the game audio down to a -22 or so, and that is the real secret to avoiding content ID on YouTube, is that most of my audio comes through my cell phone, and we're talking over it, so it is very hard for them to actually fingerprint the stuff. So then I will come over here, and usually I will put this up to 100%, and I want to resize our picture-in-picture video here. So you will notice that usually it's not the same every week, because I do this by hand and I don't really have a set way to do it. So I'll kind of just make sure we're both in the frame. I will cut out extraneous, wall over our heads, and that looks pretty good. So you get majority of the game and then us kind of in the corner. So then, now we've done that, we will export just this sync. Now, most people will say, well, why wouldn't you start doing your editing here? And to that I say, I've run into problems before where I did that, and then I couldn't get back what I needed to get back, and I lost stuff. So, personally, I like to have a synced up file first, and then do the editing process. So, it does kind of, I guess, take twice as long, but I feel safer doing it that way. So I got all my presettings here, all my settings here to export for my bitrate and everything else. So we got 20 minutes here of raw footage. We usually have around 30, but Grim kind of got mad at this game, so we didn't do as much this week. So we're going to export here. Now, the problem that I have here is that if I continue to use my computer while this is doing the export process, it will take much, much longer. And on average, it is, an hour and a half to 2 hours of an export process. So now, I'm going to get some breakfast, I'm going to get a shower or so, and then when this export process is finished, then we will come back and actually start to work on the editing portion. You can see the time here will go up a bit. It'll start at like 45 and then just be like, oh wait, no, there's more. So I will return here, be a big jump cut, and we will get to the editing process. So, quick update, it is now 8:16, it has been an hour since this process started, and I'm only 38% done with the sync video, with at least another hour to go. So, good times. Alright, we're back. We have imported our intro, outro, our synced video file, and everything else. It's about 9:20 in the morning. So now we are going to drag our original intro, which is our theme song. The thing with the Galaxy S5 is that it has two microphones, which I don't like. So what I do for the intro and outro is I modify the audio channels and turn it on to mono. I think I get better results that way with the audio. Otherwise, it kind of sounds like I'm in a big, deep room, and I don't particularly care for it. But you have to do that before you drag it into the timeline. Otherwise, it won't work. So we're going to put that in mono. And then we're going to drag our intro. There. And you see that there's going to be two audio things here. We're going to drop those both down. We're going to turn off the second one, and then we're going to turn up the first one. And then we'll drag in our sync that we just did with the entire video and the picture-in-picture. And then scroll to the end here and get the outro and do the same thing. The audio's already down, so all you gotta do is increase the volume there. So, how this process works, and I will turn this on for the benefit of this video. I usually do this in headphones, but at the beginning, and here we are setting up and doing our original thing here. So this is all getting set up. So what happens here is I go until the actual video starts, which should be in a second here. Alright, and then I'm going to back it up a couple of frames. About to where the door sound happens. Right about there. So then we're going to hit mark out. We're going to jump back to the beginning. We're going to mark in. And then we are going to use this button here, which is extract. So what that does is it takes this clip here that we don't want and gets rid of it. And then things will start as they're supposed to start. And then we go to the end of this segment here whenever we're done talking. So then we're going to go down to the end of this segment here where I get off the couch. And then we'll do that. And then we will mark it out. And then we will drag it to here. And obviously we have, you know, the beginning of all this nonsense. So usually you can tell where I start talking because there will be, you know, audio here. And that's usually the start of the episode. So that's it, Wolfenstein. So we'll go here, and then we will do another one, and we'll just take this whole section out. And that's how the editing process works. This should take me another half an hour or 45 minutes to get this, to extract all of the good parts that I want for this episode, and then hit encode. And I will come back with another jump cut when I get that done. Alright, so the editing process is now finished. We have a 13-minute and 40-second video. It is about 10 a.m. in the morning, but here's the problem. We don't have our next episode teaser. That is at the end of every episode, so in that case, I take out my equipment here and capture what the next game is going to be. So I'll be right back. So I capture my game stuff in a program called ArcSoft ShowBiz, and I know that they've put out better software, but this works, and I don't want to change my routine up too much as long as it continues to work. Now, I decided that since Gamefly has not sent me a damn thing in the past couple of days, that I will just make Grim play Dark Souls, which should go fantastically. However, this plan can and will change, so if you're watching this and there's a different thing at the end of this video on Wolfenstein, then that means that Gamefly shipped me something and got it to me by Tuesday, and then we'll play that instead. But I always have a number of backup plans of games in my collection that I can make him play at any given time. Alright, so we've imported the raw footage here of the Dark Souls title screen, and we're going to drag that here. Then we're going to hit the button to get over to that. So now we've got that. So now the last thing we need before we hit render is a title. Alright, so we're going to go into title here, and we're going to do a default still on here, and that will bring up this editing menu, and I'll make sure it's on text. I will click here. Font choice is important. choose a big fat font that is nice and easily viewable. We will attempt to type the words next time, resize them to our liking. So we're going to do the fill here so that it blacks out anything behind it and is a bit more readable. And there we have our next time. And then after that, we just take the title here, drag it on top of this, extend it to the end of the video, and then we have a completed episode of Perplexing Pixels. So at that point, what we would do is to make sure we are on the right file. We're going to go export once again, media once again, all of our basic settings, everything else, and then once again my computer is going to be tied up for at least an hour and a half to whatever, getting this done and rendered, and then I will show you how I make the thumbnail when I'm uploading it to YouTube, and then we'll be done. Alright, our episode has finished rendering, so the last thing we need is a thumbnail. So we're going to open it here. We opened it in Media Player, Media Player Classic, and we are going to save this image of the title screen into our folder here. And then after that, what we do is we open up where we put it, Wolfenstein, our thumbnail, and we're going to open it in Inkscape. I like to use Inkscape because Inkscape is really easy to use when you want to do giant text stuff. It is pretty useful. So we're going to make it real big. I'm going to back up here a little bit. The font we are using is called Ponderosa. And we're going to type out Perplexing Pixels. We're going to space it a little bit. We're going to reduce the space in between the top and the bottom thing here just a little bit. And then I like to actually move pixels over a little bit. I mean, it's not exact, but you know, you get the idea. Then we're going to turn it white, resize it quite a bit, make it pretty big, because obviously it's going to be a small thumbnail. We're going to align, we got an alignment thing here, and make sure it is in the middle. Close our alignment. So now it's centered. And then we do something very simple here, which is black outline, so it stands out more. And then if we have a lighter, like if this is a mostly colored background, we use a drop shadow. But if it was a black background, we use a drop glow. So we go down here to shadows and glows, and we do a drop shadow to kind of offset it, make it a little bit more readable here. And then quite simply, we are going to export the bitmap, export it. Now this is a pretty simple process, so I don't ever usually save these in terms of the actual Inkscape file, so we're just going to close it without saving. And then we got Wolf here, and you can see it's going to be our thumbnail. So while that's uploading, it gives us the option to put in a custom thumbnail. So go back to our folder here, custom thumbnail. That will upload our custom thumbnail. And then that's basically the process. We're pretty much done. And I will fill in the rest of this information, the actual title, the description, and the tags, you know, kind of when the episode's going to go up. I don't usually do it when I'm doing the upload, because I'm lazy. I'm very lazy. So, it is just about 11 o'clock, so a little under 4 hours to get that done. It will vary based on how much video there is. This was a 20-minute video originally, so obviously 30 and longer will take longer in the rendering process. So that's basically it. I have walked you through the process of putting up an episode of Perplexing Pixels that I do each and every week. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, oh well. And if you have any technical questions about what I did here, because I understand that the video was not super clear, but if you have any questions on how I do things technically, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So, once again, this has been Attack Slug, and I will see you next time right here, and I'm out.